Hello friends, this is Devendra Kumar Mahavar, and today we will discuss some more points, more concepts of nanoscience and nanotechnology. So in this lecture, we will discuss some properties of nanomaterials and their applications, synthesis of nanomaterials, including two approaches, which are top-down approach and bottom-up approach. So let us begin with the properties of nanomaterials. As we have seen in the last lecture, that nanomaterials have some unique emergent properties at nanoscale, and these properties may be electronic properties, optical properties, mechanical properties, or magnetic properties, or they may be some surface properties. So let us discuss all these properties one by one and how they are useful for making some devices. So let us begin with the surface properties. Surface properties influence the physical and chemical properties of all the materials, whether they are in bulk or nanoscale form. Nanomaterials possess large surface areas. Since in nanomaterials, majority of atoms are present at their surface, they exhibit enhanced surface activities. This makes the nanomaterials particularly useful in catalytic reactions, detection reactions, including sensing of a specific compound, etc., which requires physical adsorption of a particular species at material surface. Additionally, properties like melting point are also affected by the size of the particle. Nano-sized particles of a material have lower melting point than their bulk forms. This is because it is easy to remove the surface atoms as they are in contact with fewer atoms of the material. Thus, the energy required to overcome the intermolecular forces holding the atom is low, leading to lower melting point. Besides size, shape of the nanomaterials is also important. For a given volume, the surface area also depends upon material's shape. For example, between a sphere and a cube with equal volumes, the surface area of cube is larger. Consequently, apart from the size, shape of the material is also significant. Surface energy. Surface atoms or molecules have increased reactivities and are highly prone to form clusters. Thus, the surface atoms are unstable and possess higher surface energies. Since high energy systems strive to lose their energy by any process, nanomaterials are inherently unstable. There are a variety of ways by which a nanomaterial can minimize its surface energy. Agglomeration is a natural way to decrease the surface energy, as it strongly depends on surface area, which can be greatly decreased via clustering. Thus, nanoparticles intrinsically tends to agglomerate. Applications of surface properties includes catalysis. As the size of the catalyst is reduced, its active surface increases. In addition to this, organization of active sites is also crucial. Since both these features can be engineered in nanotechnology, it holds great potential to enhance catalyst design. Additionally, nanoparticles in catalysis will drastically reduce the quantity of material needed, thereby benefiting both economically as well as environmentally. Another application is detection or in sensing. The detection of a specific chemical or biological species from a mixture is the basic principle of operation of sensing devices. For example, chemical sensors, biosensors, and microarrays. Similar to catalysis, sensing is also a surface or interface phenomenon. The rate, specificity, and accuracy of this reaction can be greatly enhanced by nanomaterials. Enhanced surface area in nanomaterials provides more active sites available for detection, resulting in rapid detection. Another property of the nanomaterials is the electrical properties. Electrical properties arises because quantum confinement results in the increase in the energy band gap of the material. At the nanoscale dimensions, the energy levels becomes quantized. Thus, the band overlap in metals disappears and a band gap emerges. As you can see in this picture, in the metals or the semiconductors, this band gap between the conduction band and the valence band is slightly lower, while as we move down to the nanoscale size, as in quantum dots, this band gap emerges and or we can say it becomes slightly wider, and this because of this large band gap we get some interesting electrical properties. The increase in the band gap energy implies that more energy can be absorbed by the material. By adjusting the size of the nanoparticle, its absorption and the emission can be tuned over a wide range of wavelength. Thus, some metals behaves as a semiconductor or even some behaves as a insulators at the nanoscale. Now let us discuss applications of electrical properties of nanomaterials. Electrical properties of nanoparticles are used in fuel cells, solar cells. Zinc oxide nanoparticles are used in industrial coating to protect wood, plastics, and textiles from exposure to ultraviolet radiations. Other uses of electrical properties includes electronics, computer chips, phosphors of high definition televisions, transistors in elimination of pollutants, sunscreen lotions. Some sensors can be prepared using electrical properties, and many other applications can be possible using electrical properties of the nanoparticles. Optical properties. Optical properties of the nanoparticles. The energy level in nanoscaled semiconductors are quantized, splitting the conduction and valence band. And because of the splitting of conduction and valence bands, it discretizes the conduction as well as the valence bands. Since charge can only be transferred across these discrete levels, only specific wavelengths can be absorbed. This results in monochromatic emissions from nanostructured semiconductors. And by tuning the size of the semiconductor nanocrystals, its band gap can be controlled. Thus, the wavelength of the absorbed or emitted light by the crystal can also be tuned. Consequently, same material such as cadmium selenide can be emitted different colors depending on its size. So as you can see in this picture, the zinc sulfide cadmium selenide quantum dots are excited using UV lamp, and you can see the different colors right from the violet to red is shown, and it is obtained by tuning the size of the nanoparticles. So tuning the size of the nanoparticles, we can obtain different colors. So this is how optical properties of nanoparticles can be used to devise new technologies where the same nanoparticle can give different colors. Applications of nanoparticles using optical properties. We can see that a nanoparticle can vary its color from white to transparent. High protection sunscreens appear white due to scattering of visible light by them. Most of them have zinc oxide and titanium oxide particles having dimensions of about 200 nanometers. When visible light interacts with these nanoclusters, all of its wavelength gets scattered and combined to appear white colored. When the dimensions of the cluster is decreased down to 100 nanometers, maximum scattering occurs around 200 nanometer, shifting the curve towards shorter wavelengths, which are not in visible range. Thus, the same materials appears transparent after reduction in size. So you can see in this picture, earlier when the material size was larger, that is about 200 nanometers, or the scattering was in visible region, and the material was appearing white. But when the size of the particles are reduced to 100 nanometer, then the material became transparent because the scattering was now in the lower region, shifting towards the lower region, lower wavelength. So that's how, using optical properties, the same material which was white in color earlier can be made transparent. So nanoparticles shows large change in their optical properties such as color as a function of size. For example, gold nanoparticles appear yellow when they have size of about 2 to 5 nanometers, and they are red when the nanoparticle size is 10 to 20 nanometers, and when the size is more than 20 nanometers, gold nanoparticles appear purple in color. Similarly, silver nanoparticles are found to be blue when their particle size is about 40 nanometers, and they appear yellow when the particle size is about 100 nanometers. So based on the optical properties, nanoparticles have applications in optical detectors, lasers, sensors, imaging, display, solar cells, photocatalysis, photoconductivity, and biomedicine. Like optical and electrical properties, nanoparticles also show some unique magnetic properties. Magnetic properties of the material can also be altered by nanostructuring. The magnetization curve of a material can be adjusted by controlling its size, resulting in soft and hard magnets with enhanced properties. Generally, the magnetic behavior of a material depends on its structure and temperature. For experiencing a magnetic field, the material must have a finite non-zero spin. The transition size of the classically expected magnetic domains is about 1 micrometer. With the decreasing size of the magnet, surface atoms form a significant portion of the total number of atoms. This greatly enhances surface effects, and in turn, the quantum confinement assumes significance. As the size of these domains is reduced to nanoscale, the materials exhibit novel properties because of quantum confinement, like the giant magnetoresistance effect (GME). This is a fundamental nano effect which is now being used in modern data storage devices. Applications of magnetic properties. Magnetic properties of nanoparticles are used in a range of applications like imaging, bioprocessing, refrigeration, as well as high storage density magnetic media. Bulk gold and platinum are non-magnetic but are magnetic at nanoscale. Gold nanoparticles becomes ferromagnetic when they are capped with appropriate molecules such as thiol. Similarly, nanoparticles have many unique mechanical properties. Depending on the structure, some nanoparticles can exhibit exceptional mechanical properties. One such material is carbon nanotubes, also known as CNTs, which are extremely small tubes having the same honeycomb structure of graphite. Graphite, which is the bulk form of carbon, but CNTs have different properties than the graphite. CNTs can be 100 times stronger than steel, but it is 6 times lighter than the steel. And we know that the bulk form of carbon, that is graphite, is known to be very soft. And the same element, nanotubes, carbon nanotubes, or the nanoparticles of the carbon are behaving as strong as steel. So this is why we say that at nanoscale we observe some unique properties which are not found in their bulk counterparts. Now applications of mechanical properties. As revealed from their mechanical properties, nanoparticles can offer many applications in mechanical industries, especially in coating, lubricants, and adhesive applications. Besides, this property can be useful to achieve mechanically stronger nano devices for various purposes. Tribological properties can be controlled at nanoscale level by embedding nanoparticles in the metal and polymer matrix to increase their mechanical strengths. It is because the rolling mode of nanoparticles in the lubricated contact area could provide very low friction and wear. In addition, nanoparticles offer good sliding and delamination properties which could also effect in low friction and wear and hence increase lubrication effect. Coating can lead to various mechanically strong characteristics as it improves toughness and wear resistance. Aluminium, titanium, and carbon based nanoparticles successfully demonstrated to get the desirable mechanical properties in coatings. In spite of all the technological advantages that we discussed about nanoparticles, there are in fact some disadvantages or challenges that we come across while designing some devices using nanoparticles. The first challenge that we come across is that it is in fact very hard to synthesize nanoparticles and their isolation is also very difficult. Recycling and disposal of the nanoparticles is also quite hard. The other challenge that we come across is instability of the nanoparticles. Retaining the active metal nanoparticles is highly challenging. As we know that nanoparticles are highly reactive, they inherently interacts with the impurities as well. So retaining them pure is very hard. Some nanoparticles may be biologically harmful sometime. Some nanoparticles might be harmful as they become transparent to the cell dermis. Toxicity of the nanoparticles also appears predominantly owing to their high surface area and enhanced surface activity. Few nanoparticles have shown to cause irritation and have indicated to be carcinogenic. Let us now discuss synthesis of nanoparticles. Basically, there are two approaches for synthesis of nanomaterials. One is top-down approach and another is bottom-up approach. The top-down approach involves taking the bulk materials and then repeatedly breaking it into smaller and smaller pieces, similar to a sculpture making stone statue out of a big rock or stone. This can be achieved by chemical, mechanical, or any other method. Top-down approach can produce structures with long range order. It is comparatively easier than bottom-up approach, but since a lot of material is wasted, hence seldom used for large-scale nanomaterial applications, as the end product is not economically beneficial. Additionally, they are planar technology and producing complex and arbitrary objects is not possible. Top-down approach includes methodologies which are called lithography, where litho means stone. So lithography means designing or making using stone. One methodology is photolithography, that means where we remove atoms using light, and another is electron beam lithography, where we remove atoms using electron beam. Another approach for synthesis of nanoparticles is bottom-up approach. In bottom-up approach, more complex assemblies are built atom by atom, molecule by molecule, or cluster by cluster. For assembling basic units to form larger structures, it makes use of chemical or physical forces operable at nanoscale. This technique reflects the natural phenomena occurring in biological systems wherein chemical forces effectively form all structures required for life. It is analogous to build a house from basic building blocks like bricks. It is a process to fabricate nanostructured materials from atoms involve transformation of processes in solutions. For example, sol gel technique, plasma synthesis, spraying, chemical and physical vapor depositions, etc. Availability of starting materials, often termed as precursors, is a critical aspect in nanoparticle synthesis process, and controlling the growth of a nanoparticle is a great challenge in this process. So friends, now I think you are clear about the various properties of nanoparticles, like electrical properties, optical properties, mechanical properties, magnetic properties, and surface properties, and how these properties are used for designing some new devices. And I think you also are familiar now with the two approaches of synthesis of nanoparticles, which is top down approach and bottom up approach. So this is all for now. Thank you very much.